a little bit early, guys. I didn't want to wait for the timer to time out to 11:11. So here we are, getting situated for Miracle Manifestation Mission Focused Monday. Yes. We're going to keep it mostly light. But hey, please do not pew pew the messenger. I have a couple accountability partners I made a pact with. We're gonna keep the other in check, and the other doesn't exist. Which means it's always you, it's always me, it's always us. So we're gonna go into, hold on, the shadow work deck first. All right. Let me just kill these other lights in the background. Do a little storytelling from the shadow work deck. Hey. Oh. This is my sleepy face. This is what I look like when I first wake up. Wowzers. Good morning. Hope you have an awesome, beautiful day. Buddha. Let's see who else we have. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. And trending is in the building. Great to see you so soon, beautiful. Yes, great to see you again so soon. So we're just going to go into this deck, the shadow work deck, to see what has already come to light for the collective. Oh, your friend Mona came over. Okay, let me take a closer look, make sure I don't forget anyone. Hello, sifting some soil and more. This must be Mona. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me just make sure I'm pushing all the right buttons here. There you go. Since I know you came from a trusted source, you got your blue suit. Fresh from the cleaners. Yes, thank you so very much for being here. But most importantly, thank you for being you. Yes, welcome in, Mona. I will do my best to keep things light. Try not to scare anybody away. After it all, it is Miracle Manifestation Monday, so we shouldn't have any negative voltage creeping in. Yes, thank you so very much for giving me a chance and popping over here to visit, feel things out a bit. Much gratitude, sincerely. Okay, shadow work. What came to the light that is now being integrated for the collective? Ooh, we're going to do a full pass this time. So whatever comes out is an archetype or aspect that has already been brought to light and is now being integrated for the next 7 days. All right, we have 3 cards out of a full pass. Oh, 4. And we're going to take a look at the bottom here. We have inner peace already here, already done, already in the orbit. So, yes, we're going to take it. Oh, and forgiving right behind that. So we're going to take that one too. Anything that comes from the bottom of the deck is already in our orbit, already in the environment. And then anything that comes out in the shuffle is brought to light, but still being integrated. So we have self-control, inner peace, and forgiveness or forgiving already consciously being integrated. And then we have self-gratifying in reverse, prohibitive in the upright, and frightening in the upright. So we're going to do a little storytelling with these cards. And we're going to begin with what came out in the shuffle. Beginning with number 11, prohibitive. This is what's already been brought to the surface, but it may be unbeknownst to you. It could have been triggered by someone or some other activity. And the story is, their barriers may seem confining, but can also lead us to find another path. So, over restriction that is being transmuted into hard boundaries. Understanding the difference between over restricting ourselves and having hard boundaries, as well as preventing harm or chaos by restricting certain actions, as well as our growth, freedom, creativity, and suppressing our growth. So some restrictions that we may have been applying were suppressing our growth, but there's also this other underlying energy where it's going to be different with every encounter. Overall, suppressing certain energies because the collective is concerned that if we say too much in one area of life, then it may appear as though we don't have any boundaries set. So there's like this roller coaster effect, spiritually and emotionally, that has been brought to light. And the energies that come from this story are what is being integrated. Let's take a look at the frightening card, number 15, and see what the story is with that. We have, in the upright, commanding respect or caution through a formidable presence or demeanor based on deep-seated fears governing our actions. Ooh, I see. So this is where we're being invited to reflect on our fears and anxieties. Okay, something that has been deep-seated that was inhibiting our growth. But since it's being brought to light and has been brought to light for the majority, it's already being sorted out. Now we're going to take a look at self-gratifying in reverse and see what the story is with that. An excessive focus on oneself, leading to potentially strained relationships. Being challenged to choose self-denial. Self-denial over overindulgence. Self-denial, I didn't even have to go into the book for that. Choosing self-denial over overindulgence. I made a good example of myself at the end of last week, overindulging in sharing personal information that has been well known for like 8 months now. And so we're not going back down that rabbit hole. I made a pact with one of our found familia that we were not going to go back down that rabbit hole publicly. So that's, look, I'm a woman of my word. Watch me demonstrate it. Hello, little butterfly, and Ms. Antonia, and I'm pausing to take a look to see who else is in here. Khadija, Miss K, hello, good morning, beautiful. Let's give you your blue. Thank you so very much. So we're being reminded to partake in that self-denial instead of overindulging. So there could be a little something that has been tempting us, some kind of temptation that we're being guided to disengage from. Now, this is what's already in the environment, though, and every bit of it is positive. So this is how I know that for the most part, the collective is already aware of these temptations to be overindulgent, and these other energies have been countering that temptation. These other energies are already here, already done, and this is like, well, through forgiveness, inner peace, and self-control, this is where the Most High is directing us. This is where they took the wheel and said, how about you choose this instead? Beginning with self-control, number 52. Let's see what the story is with number 52. Exercising discipline and restraint, particularly in spiritual or emotional matters, demonstrating mastery over one's impulses. Yes. Okay. We're being encouraged to understand and manage our impulses, foster balance, moderation, and mindfulness in our actions and responses. All right. Now moving along to the forgiving card, number 2. Let's see what the story is with that. We have embracing compassion and understanding, releasing grudges, and offering second chances. Oh, they're not getting a second chance, but the forgiveness is genuine. Whoever they are, whatever that means to you, may they be well. And all the best to them. And love, but from a distance. Woo-hoo. From a distance. Whom have we yet to truly forgive, and what's holding us back? Well, I just picked up on that forgiveness has already been issued. And it was genuine, and because it was genuine this time, we may have had to circle the block a few times, but this time, as a result of our sincerity, we will be experiencing that inner peace. All right, number 51. Inner peace. Cultivating a serene heart and mind achieved through spiritual practices, reflection, and deep understanding. We're being invited to explore our capacity for serenity and calm. Encouraging us to find our inner peace, reminding us of the strength and clarity that comes from being at peace with ourselves, but also peace with others. When we deny that impulse to spew our frustrations and grudges on those who did not create them. Okay. So Resisting and denying temptation is definitely going to be part of the next 7 days of energy because it is already in the environment. Your sign is Taurus. Oh, you know, just the other day, I had a card, a Taurus card come out actually. But I couldn't tell you. Oh. I don't think this is it either. No, those are description cards. Well, in one of these, I think it's this one actually. That is so interesting that you are a Taurus. Just the other day. 2 days ago. Where is it? Okay, there's the Virgo one. Interesting. Little butterfly. It's almost like there's Gemini. I don't know where it went. Weird. Anyways, that's a distraction. I just distracted myself. My bad. Hello, Trendfield 1. Let's go and get fit. Oh, I see trending. I see you, sis. Thank you. Thank you. So, denying the impulse to remain distracted. I'm going to make one more full pass with this deck. Here we go. Now, with this full pass, it's going to be what's coming to the surface in the next 7 days that has not already done so. That first shuffle was what has already come to the surface. Oh! And this shuffle is what is on its way in. And that's a full pass. Let's see. We have fair in reverse, lack of discernment in reverse, inauthentic in reverse, and apathy in the upright. Yikes. There's that temptation right there. All of this energy is that temptation that I was just speaking on, that we're being guided to deny. Okay. So we're going to take a look at the fair card first. This is an angel archetype. Miss Peacock! Hello, beautiful. Hello, all of you are absolutely beautiful. I just have to say that. Empress Peacock is in the building. Peacock, love to you and yours, sister. Yes. Okay, let's take a look at the fair angel archetype, balancing the scales of the universe, ensuring justice for all. When it's in reverse, though, I'm going to hold it upright, but it's in the shadow. Over judgment, the possibility of being overly critical or setting impossibly high standards, either for ourselves or others, leading to disappointment or unnecessary conflict. So, with that energy, we're being asked to scrutinize our prejudices, bias, and any unfair treatment we might be extending towards ourselves or others. A call to practice objectivity and equality in our judgments and interactions. Yes. All right. And then we're going to take a look now at lack of discernment. Number 60. This is also in the shadow. Overanalysis, being caught in the paralysis of overthinking, where an excessive need for discernment inhibits action or decision making. So, throughout the next 7 days, we're going to be working on strengthening our decision making abilities, urging us to slow down and practice discernment making well-informed and thoughtful decisions without the overindulgence of overthinking. That's an overindulgence itself. Overanalyzing, overthinking, over discernment. I never really knew there was such a thing as too much discernment. Wow. Whoops. Okay, taking a look at inauthentic, number 64 in the shadow. As if I knew there was such thing as this either. Over sincerity and inability to gauge situational appropriateness, potentially coming off as tactless or naive. I never knew there was a such thing as over sincerity. Either way, we're being guided to embrace and express our true selves, fostering self-acceptance and authenticity. I have to look this up. Over sincerity. Let's see what this is about. Being genuinely honest, open, and transparent to such an extent that it becomes excessive, awkward, or socially inappropriate. Well, dang. Guilty. Only this week, I'm not going to be the example. That was last week. That was old news. It is old news. Old news. So what it means, when the collective shares truths without considering the emotional impact on others, when we express feelings or opinions so bluntly that they come across as harsh or insensitive, there's where that apathy energy comes in, dang it all. And prioritizing truth over empathy, or otherwise delivering truth without tact, in a nutshell. Okay. But there's reasons why this happens. When we believe honesty is always good, even if it's not contextually appropriate. Also, when we want to avoid deception, but fail to filter words for tone and timing. And then, when we are influenced by cultural or personal ideals that equate being real with being good. So, the potential issue here is unintended harm, perceived harshness, estrangement, workplace strain, and self-perception issues. To bring it into balance, consider the audience and context before speaking, using I statements to express feelings without sounding accusatory, pausing and reflecting on potential impact of our words, practicing empathy by imagining how the other person might feel, and seeking feedback to gauge whether your honesty is well received. In short, over sincerity is sincerity taken to an extreme that can backfire. The goal is to be authentic while being mindful of how our honesty affects others. A balance that strengthens trust rather than eroding it. And this is a lesson for me as well, which brings us to the apathy card. All right, we can exit out of that now. All right. Apathy, number 29. I'm going to pause to check the chat here. Okay. Toy Pops, hello, love you. Thank you for popping in. Little Butterfly says, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe to this channel. Yes, I'm actually going to replace my pinned message with that one. Good looking out. That is, oh my gosh. What was your other? Divine Selections, aka Little Butterfly. Thank you so very much for dropping that for me in the chat. So all of this other energy brings us to the apathy card. And so what this is telling me is that the collective is going to be tempted again sometime throughout the next 7 days to revisit a topic, person, place, thing, or situation that we're being guided to refrain from the over analyzing and oversharing. Where this apathy energy comes in the upright, it means demonstrating a certain detachment from conventional concerns, often as a way to preserve one's own energy or maintain a sense of freedom. So this is like stoicism. It doesn't mean that you lack emotion or that you have a heart of stone, okay? It just means that we're being guided to cultivate empathy. Consider the implications of our own apathy. And with these prior situations, continue being aware, but unbothered at the same time. We're aware of these people, places, things, and situations and the truth of them, okay? But no more of the oversharing. This is coming out from the cards. Okay. Now, for some of the collective, it's not so much about oversharing as it is where we're being called to analyze that deep-seated lack of interest or concern. So now I'm getting, there's a time for this and there's a time for that. So in some settings, more private, intimate settings, we can get those things off of our chest. But otherwise, we have to be careful to not become desensitized, is the energy that I'm getting. Like, remain enthusiastic about life. And It's reminding me of the beginning of last week when I mentioned applying more passion and emotion to our daily experiences. No, for sure with the rest of the collective, but I know that and I still have the video posted from like 4 or 5 days ago, but I went off the deep end with the oversharing. It was true, and it was not necessary. Whether it was true or not, it wasn't necessary to carry on to that extent. So, moving along. We're going to remain with the archetypes here. But we're going to go into the Wild Unknown archetypes deck to see what's going to be ignited. In order to assist us in maintaining this more fair approach. And in all fairness, sometimes when the situation is unfair, we're being unfair. We're being unfair with ourselves sometimes. It's not always about being unfair towards others. It's like being a pushover. And to some degree, in some instances, even like quote unquote, for contextual purposes only, I am not a doctor, Stockholm Syndrome. Where you basically pretend for so long to be in agreement with your perpetrator that you start taking on those archetypes and attributes. We had one card come out. So far, it is the Stone. This is coming online for us in the next 7 days. The Stone, I believe, is a tool coming online for us. It is a tool. Yes, remaining present, loyal, and committed. So, knowing that there's a time and a place for expressing certain people, places, things, and situations. And I feel like there's more from this card. So, okay, what happened was the collective went from holding back and holding back and holding back to like the dam broke. And then the give a damn broke. Like first the dam broke and then the give a damn broke. And it's like before the collective becomes like completely desensitized, we're turning that around and discerning that time and the place, knowing that there's a season for everything. There's a season for getting things off of our chest. And there's a season for dialing it back. So, and knowing who the heck we're talking to. Knowing who the heck we're talking to. People can care deeply about us wholeheartedly and not want to hear some of the things that we share, especially in excess. So there's all that. Let's keep going. archetypes coming online to assist the collective. The seed. Another fantastic tool. This one is actually, oh, see, I said we're supposed to be dialing things back, right? And the seed is actually one less than the stone. So we took literally one step back in the numbers here in the Roman numerals. Even more indication that I'm on the right track with the message, even if I'm struggling to communicate it without further assistance. And some of you may also be struggling to communicate, express your emotions and your passions more on a daily basis without being overindulgent in doing so. And for others, this could actually be quite the opposite effect, where you're doing entirely too much clamming up and you're not saying enough, especially in terms of expressing your needs. So let's take a look at the seed. Yeah, festering, the beginning, the origin, the pearl. Bumping up against growth. It's from the grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. So for some of the collective, this is telling me that everything that I was rattling off in the beginning hasn't even come into fruition for you, which means you even still have time to, like, quite possibly avoid some kind of catastrophe involving how you express yourself. Or like an outlet. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Messengers of Source are saying developing other healthy outlets sometime in the next 7 days. Healthy outlets. Keywords for this week. Healthy outlets. Healthy outlets. At the bottom of the deck, already here, already done, in the environment, not coming in, but already here. We have the Judge. Number 14. This literally means discernment in the upright. But in the right action. The critic, the diplomat, the advocate. Love is the deciding factor. Awakening this archetype is essential for the complex times we are in. Get your Judge in order. The world needs it. So this is really telling me that perhaps we convinced ourselves that we were being overindulgent in the sharing, in the oversharing. But in all actuality, whatever it is that we have been sharing and we're being called to share in the next 7 days was actually meant to be revealed. It was actually meant to be shared out of the detriment of another. Somebody else could have been about to face a similar situation, and the collective could have prevented that by speaking up. But this isn't like automatic, immediate permission to go into a spiel all over again. And furthermore, leading to BLEEDING on those who did not wound us. That was my message, personal message, all weekend long. Know who you're talking to, read the room, and don't go so far down or into the deep end or down that rabbit hole that you're pushing those who truly care about you away, or those who could genuinely help you through a situation, who decide to decline on that because of their own discernment. Like, it's almost one of those, I can't help you until you're ready to help yourself kind of things. But it doesn't have to be like a major event that occurred with another at all. But it could feel major to you. And you're still being guided to honor your feelings with this card right here, with the Judge card. Continue to discern and honor your feelings. If you're big mad, be big mad. You know, if you're hurt, you're sad, honor that sadness and work through it. We can't bypass and like skip steps, because then there isn't any real resolve. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I just busted my big toe. Okay. Building walls, separating from other. When the same discernment force is made conscious and healed, however, the judge may be found advocating for civil rights causes, standing up for the underdog, and providing resources for those in need, forgiving again and again and again. And just like Yogi says from time to time on his channel, sometimes we do end up having to circle back around and practice that forgiveness again and again and again and again until it sticks. Man, I really busted my toe, dude. But I'm okay. Okay. So taking a break from the cards for a moment. Oh, dude. It's a distraction now. Can you get a goose egg on the end of your toe? Hold on, I gotta check it, make sure it's not. I'm okay. I'm okay. Everything's good. I busted my toe like right where my nail aligns with my toe. Yeah. Glad to hear that my toe's okay. You guys, I'm still getting used to being live and talking to you without getting a response. And then I feel like I have to yell to get a response. And then it's like, wait a minute. Stop yelling. They can hear you. You just can't hear them. Oh my goodness. What's going on? You had to sit down because your whole leg went numb. Oh, dang, you walked into the dumbbell. Oh my gosh. The shins are like, I swear, our shins are like attractors. I have like scars all the way up and down my shin bones. Girl, I could feel the vibration in my bone just from you describing what happened. Like I could feel the vibration in my bone. Yes, ouch. Hopefully you're doing better now, Buddha. The funny thing about those, well, maybe I should just speak for myself on this one. It's like we don't learn in terms of the clumsiness. I don't learn from the clumsiness. I already know. At least one more time in the next week, I'm gonna trip on something or I'm gonna walk into something. Look, I have a bruise that's healing. It's healing now. It's like green and yellow right here on my arm. From the dang screen door blowing shut on me when I was walking out the back door last week during lawn service. I accidentally shut my arm in the screen door. Blame it on the wall. Yes, Buddha says, I'm good. I am good. It happened a few days ago, and Dolly, it's okay. I'm always walking into walls and shit. LOLs. I'll be like, ouch, damn wall. And my mom is like, blame it on the wall, OMG, and then laughs. Yes. Hi, Sebs. Hello, Bro Star. Thank you so very much for popping in. Grand Rising, Grand Afternoon. I think it might actually be afternoon for you, Sebs. I'm doing okay after another long nap, a weird sleeping schedule today for some reason. Audie, don't think I forgot you, sister. I saw you. Grand Rising, Grand Afternoon. I'm doing pretty well. Since the chat is moving, I'm going to go ahead and go back into this deck one more time to see what other archetypes are coming online this week for us to integrate. Oh, and that one fell to the floor. Hold on. Oh, wow. It's the underworld. The underworld fell to the floor. It was trying to get back home and it stopped at the floor. It stopped at surface level. Oh, dang. I don't know who just said that, but somebody just said, someone thinks that we are only surface level. But the truth of the matter is we are the nectar. Somebody out there thinks that we can only think surface level or experience life on a surface level, when in all actuality, we go deep for that golden nectar. Yes. Somebody thinks you're surface level, collective, but the truth is you're quite the opposite. There is so much sustenance to you. Sweet, sweet sustenance right there. The nectar. Oh, but with the box behind that, it's like we're being guided to be more outside the box, Show more of that sweet nectar. Don't be afraid to go deep in the presence of others. Because someone out there thinks that we're not capable of thinking outside of the box or going deeper. For some of the collective, it could be you believing that about yourself. Oh my goodness, that's what I just heard. It could be you thinking that about yourself. Of course, that's my guides talking to me. Like, it could just be you thinking that about yourself. And so there's more to discover. So the passion and the emotion applied to our everyday experiences is still very much so in the energy. This time, throughout the next 7 days, thinking more outside the box and how we can reveal more of that sweet nectar. All right, the underworld. I'm still looking for this. Where the heck is it? I don't know. XL. Here we go. I found the box. Sorry, you guys. It's taking a moment. Here we go. Bravery. The underworld. Depth. Bravery. The facing of our deepest fears. There was mention of that early on in the video. There was mention of some underlying fears a little bit ago when we went into the shadow work deck. So we're going to be working through those underlying fears, transmuting them, I just heard. No longer suppressing them. But this time, instead of oversharing the negative voltage, that is being transmuted as well. Oh, there's actually a little bit of an assignment with this card, you guys. It says, search for images of a map of Dante's Inferno. What does the story of epic descent stir in you? Looking up Dante's Inferno. Images of a map of Dante's Inferno. What does the story of epic descent stir in you? Try as we might, the darkness pulls us into its depths through the disturbing dream, images, unexpected accidents, illness, war, conflict, and ultimately death. Not visiting the underworld or denying its existence altogether is what gives it its dangerous power. So denying our shadow is what I'm getting here. Denial of shadow work. Oh my gosh, that's another lesson that Yogi Eric mentioned recently. denying the shadow can actually be more destructive and damaging. Those were not his exact words verbatim, but we will have a less fruitful experience when we continue to deny the shadow work, when we're only focused on love and light, be light, be light, be light, be light, be light, be light. We forget there is so much more depth to us. Even the less likable parts that can be integrated so that it can work in tandem on an emotional and spiritual level with those parts that we happen to like just a little teensy weensy bit more than, the shadow aspects. Thinking more outside the box. Revealing more of that sweet nectar. And now the nectar just fell to the floor, mostly because I'm clumsy, but it still fell to the floor. So you know what that means. More of that sweet, sweet nectar is coming to your door. Yes. When it falls to the floor, it comes to the door. Perhaps we need to just add a door to the box, shall we? So we can come and go as we please. That's what I just heard. Add a door to the box. And it's a revolving door. Okay, adding a revolving door to that box, which you're about to find out what that means. Give me a second. As soon as I get to it. The box is on fire. The box is on fire. That's what I just heard. Yikes. Our guides want us to get all the way out that box. Structure, order, coherence, logic. So, a little bit more spiritual application of the nectar. A balance between our logical brain and our spiritual brain. A balance. Oh my gosh, we've been touching so much on that as well, between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The imagination and intuition plus conscious action in a practical manner, or otherwise applying more practical means to a spiritual situation, where now we're being guided to apply more spiritual means to a practical situation. Ooh, sometime in the next 7 days, it could be today. Heck, technically Sunday is the first day of the week, which was yesterday in most places. And heck, it's midnight somewhere right now. So it's like it's the next day. It's Tuesday somewhere else right now. I'm actually going to pause and read. Okay, I'm going to take a pause from the cards. You guys have a lot to share, and I want to be able to keep up. So give me a moment. I'm going to adjust a little bit so I can see my computer screen a little bit better. Hopefully you guys aren't in any kind of hurry to run off. Oh yeah, I forgot I had this on my altar, guys. Look what I found. It's a little blue egg. And I hope that whatever was in the egg is okay, because I only saw half the egg. I couldn't see the other half of the egg on the ground. You saw, oh, Buddha, maybe the other half of my egg teleported to that alley you were in. Because I crap you not, it was just half the egg, and I do not want to think the worst at all. I do not want to think the worst of why there would only be half the egg there. I just don't even want to think about it. Oh, Trending saw it too on your cell? Oh, you were on the cell with her. Gotcha. Well, since I touched it again, now I have to like rinse my hands, but I will be right back, and then I'm going to scroll up on the chat to see what I missed and then work my way back down again, guys. I'll be right back. Instead of washing, I'm just going to grab some hand sanitizer. I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm here, I'm here. John P. Hello, Bro Star. Good afternoon. Thank you so very much for joining us. I just touched a broken bird egg, so I had to get my hand sanitizer. But yeah, I went out to see how things were going when the lawn service was being done. And that's what I found. Oh, and then a little piece just broke off. I have to leave it alone. I'm going to move it to my burn station. Oh my gosh, the pieces are just like falling apart now. So I just put that egg over with in my burn station where I have my Latter-day Saints whitewashed Jesus painting over there. I don't show it because if I could deface it and correct the complexion on my ancestor over here, I would. Anyways, I'm supposed to be moving the computer closer so I can see you guys better. Hopefully it doesn't mess up or create an echo. Okay. Scrolling up. Give me just a second, guys. Okay, I'm back where I left off. Audra was saying, okay, Sebs came in and said, good afternoon. Audra, I have spatial issues as it is. I walk into the side of things all the time. And then Buddha says, the stuff we do, it sounds crazy, but it hurts. Yes, it does. Sebs is asking how I'm doing. Everybody's greeting Sebs. Audra's greeting everyone. Buddha's greeting everyone. Don't forget Miss Peacock in the building. I haven't forgotten you, sis. I feel your presence. Okay, Sebs was saying the ACIM message is fundamentally love and light, but I feel contradictions in that via behaviors and patterns. Well, I don't know if it's so much a contradiction. And I, you know what, I catch myself saying the same thing, like comparing things and seeing them as contradictions. When I'm trying to take a little bit of a different approach with that and just see see it all as parts of one whole. So to see them as contradictions would also mean that they were separate from one another. But in the scheme of things, nothing is truly separate. Separation is an illusion. But I am picking up what you're putting down at the same time. Audra says, or Buddha says, ACIM can be either or due to how an individual takes it and applies it. Yes, absolutely. And even the material itself says at the end, like the authors at the end were like, and now you can just forget everything, but in their own words, not verbatim. And now you can let that go too. You know, it's like study the material and then let that go too. And let's see, hopefully I'm not messing anything up. Audra says, that card reminds me of the Kaaba block. And Buddha says, but it is love and light, but can be darkness if you slip into negative-ish. It's why stop judging yourself and just let it be and live life to the fullest. Yes. Yes, it is Tuesday morning for trending. Absolutely. In the Philippines, it is now Tuesday, 10 minutes ago. Yes, happy Tuesday, trending, and anyone else from other parts of the world. Happy Tuesday. I believe it's a robin's egg, Audra. It had some weird gooky yellow inside, Buddha says. Oh, you didn't touch it because it had yellow gooky yellow. Yeah, I wouldn't have touched it either. Trending was like, what is that on video call? Buddha says, I told her and an egg, something hatched. Yes. And this is where John P. came in. Woohoo! This is where John P. came in. And John says, I have my girls with me today. Amazing, Bro Star. Enjoy your time. Yes. Get the most out of it while you can. Get all the hugs and like family movie time, cuddles, and all that good stuff. Yes. And oh, I like that. I like that, Sabs. I'm going to read what you said. I'll use ignorance for example. If we all love and support, why isn't everyone loving without picking and choosing? I'm not being negative. I feel it doesn't ever get talked about. And then Seb says, so I just act silly instead, lol, but made me think when you said love and light, sissy, to be honest. Buddha says, well, for me, I don't waste my time choosing one bit. Let it be, live your life, and do you. And then Seb says, has Kenny been in yet? No, I haven't seen him. I hope he's okay too. Gosh, we should check on him today. Yes, Buddha says we say love and light within, and it's love and light to all, and we pray you spark that inner light. 12:12. Oh, you caught it. It's 12:13 now, but you caught it. Thank you, Audra. Sparking the light. Nice saying, Buddha. Yes. I love how you guys are like working out the kinks in the chat right now. Heck yeah. We are made of light frequency and energy. Absolutely, Buddha. I mean, I believe that to be fact as well. Some might disagree, and they're allowed to honor their feelings as well. Just keep it kind and respectful in the chat. Everybody's doing great at that. Yes. The inner light is within us all. Amen. Amen. Yes. Ashe, and so it is. I love this, which actually brings me to the nectar. Going beyond the surface level with the underworld, thinking more outside the box, or otherwise, like I said a little bit ago, just put a revolving door on that box, okay? If you want to fall back from time to time, again, honor your own feelings. If you want to step out of it more, if you want to step out of that more, honor your feelings. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not your real dad. I just love storytelling. It's fun. I love this. And I love with the new moon energy, there's more emphasis for the next couple weeks going into the strawberry full moon about spiritual social connections. So applying more of a spiritual approach to practical aspects of our lives and the connections that we've been making with our found familia, our new alliances, new connections. And just being, look, this is a challenge for me too. I'm not going to lie, because it has been a challenge for me to step more outside the box. And I'm going to accept that challenge. But only because I've been distracted with things that have been going on in my own personal life that obviously still needed my attention. There was something unresolved, a little something unresolved going on there. And I had to be brave, swallow my pride, and step outside of the box instead of trying to be that guru for myself. We don't always have all the answers for ourselves, for the same reason why a brain surgeon cannot perform their own surgery. I don't believe it to be possible. We have to have the courage to reach out when all other options have been exhausted. By me reaching out last week, it was actually easier for me to come to a resolution. And in the process, I made a pact. I made a pact and will remain a woman of my word. Now, which means I also have an accountability partner in the mix. There's somebody watching right now making sure that I do not slip and go backwards. That's the wrong way. We're not going backwards. To make sure that I don't slip and fall back into that ego trap of overindulging in the oversharing of negative experiences. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Ms. Peacock. Shout out, shout out. Yes, and everyone, Buddha, Dolly, Eric, Kat, everybody, Sebs, John P, Mary, who else? Goga. Everybody in Goga's chat the other day was being so kind and supportive. Everybody in Eric's chat is being so kind and supportive. And it helps. Sometimes we can be surrounded. We can be surrounded, even in the physical, in our physical lives, we can be surrounded by others and still feel so alone. We can have somebody right next to us and still feel so out of touch, so alone. And as much as I preach about how we're never truly alone, sometimes I still have those experiences, but it's not like we're going completely backwards. We're just taking a couple of steps back, and that's okay. That's why there's that revolving door. Go back in the box, rethink, come out the box. Regroup, rethink things, reconsider. And then with the nectar in tow, we have that ability in some cases. Some doors are meant to be closed, locked, boarded shut, the whole nine. Heck, don't even waste the lumber. It's expensive. Just burn that ish down. Don't waste your time on the lumber and the locks. Just burn it down. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. Yes. Anyways, there was something more to learn from the experience being revisited. And now we're moving on. Who was it that mentioned something about the islands the other day? Okay. Yeah, because of dang it. Because trending in the Philippines, you're telling her to get the heck off the island. And then at first I was like, because I wasn't like, the message has changed since the last time I analyzed that situation. My first message was, don't leave the island. It's not the island, it's the people. And then when we revisited that situation recently, Buddha, now I'm getting something completely different, that because of the amount of basically the amount of sorcery or witchcraft that has been done on those islands, it's like it has infected the land itself. Like the energy of the ill-intended work that was done has infected the island itself. Okay, I got you. Well, I got the message to go to the island, build a boat, which makes no sense when you really stop and think of it from a practical sense. But if you're thinking outside the box, okay, what else could this possibly mean? So you went to the island. You gained all that you could possibly gain in terms of tools, materials, and other modalities from the island. Use those tools, materials, and modalities to build that boat. Get the heck off of that island. And when you make landfall, burn the boat, because the boat is also contaminated by the island. That's my message when it comes to that. Get the HE double hockey sticks off that island. The island is infected. Make landfall. Clear out your energy and your surroundings. Spiritual baths, sage, whatever prayer, whatever it is you do to clear out that negative voltage, and burn the boat, never to return again. That's the message that I got. There are storms and there are earthquakes and all kinds of just what is it called? Acts of God, they're called. Natural disasters, things like natural disasters and car accidents, and events along that type of nature are considered acts of God, not acts of man. So what I see is that we, the people, need to get the heck out of the way of God and let them be the one to handle the karmic. Let the Most High allow them to be the warden over the karma. What's happening is too many human beings forgot how to just be a human being and became human doers, and then took karmic work, okay, trying to punish what is perceived to be somebody else's karma into their own hands, trying to be the wardens over other people's karma, or what is perceived to be their karma. And I already know there's somebody out there who doesn't like me, who's going to hear this, and they're going to be like, whoa, oh, so maybe my life will actually get better if I stop taking karma into my own hands. Stop trying to punish the world for every little thing you don't agree with, or punish others. It is, to me, all that dark witchcraft is people thinking that they are so supreme to everybody else that they can determine the results of somebody else's karma. And that's not true. Tend to your own garden. I just heard all over again. I've been hearing that on me too. Like, tend to your own garden. When I'm doing stuff like this, though, and I'm storytelling, you can't really apply that on a spiritual or a practical sense. Because in this case, the garden is tending to itself. The garden is tending to itself. One of the earliest stories of record, or one of the earliest stories on record, is that of the goddess Inanna's descent. It turns out descending into the underworld is as old as time itself. That's that shadow work. And it's going to keep repeating until we fully accept and move completely out of denial and integrate those parts of ourselves that are less favorable, transmuting it into that golden nectar, teachable moments, nuggets and nectar of wisdom through experiences that there's some kind of story also. This message came out. There's some kind of story that we are meant to tell that is going to have a positive impact on another. even if there's a lot of like seemingly like negative connotations in the story, somebody who is meant to hear that story is going to learn a valuable lesson from it in some kind of way, or do some transmuting of their own and work it out, making those necessary changes. I'm coming back to the nectar for just a moment. Glowing, relaxed, subtle illumination. The medicine, the elixir, the garden. Oh my gosh, I just tend to our own gardens. And that's what this also is, one of the aspects of the archetype that it represents. That inner temple, that garden is the inner temple. And when it's in the dark, when it's in the shadow, get this, guys. It's a fixation on fixing. The people destroying the integrity of these islands are fixated on fixing. They're trying to take karma into their own hands, believing that their work is more superior to the Most High. And as a result, the Most High is responding accordingly. Stop that. Except the timeout corner is a tsunami or a tornado or an earthquake or whatever source drums up that day, because they are the ones. Now, I do also believe that human beings and coming into together, all of our energy gathered together, can also manipulate the elements, so to speak. I don't want to go too far into that, but I believe that we can also manipulate the elements, and we're being guided to not go that far as a fixer. There's the ego cropping up as a fixer, that persona of a fixer. No. We're being guided all throughout the next 7 days to just allow nature and source to take its course, instead of trying to get in the way of what's meant to happen. One thing that I notice about the area I live in, every single year as the seasons change, especially going from autumn into winter, it's like people forget every single year that at that time of the year, there's going to be specific weather patterns. They're going to be dangerous. There's going to be more of a likelihood to wreck this, that, and the other. But yet, every year, like clockwork, people will be trying to not leave early, not prepare early and get started early when there's snow, speeding instead of taking their time, which is why we leave early, so we can take our time getting from point A to point B, less likely to wreck ourselves. There's something about that. More of those pauses, more of, without being a calendar watcher, without being a clock watcher, if you are sincerely that dedicated to that specific cause, get started early. Get started early, leave early. When I used to work outside of my home in like a factory setting, or even in hospitality and retail, I was in that break room 15 minutes before it was even time to clock in every single day that I worked. You arrive early. It gives your nervous system even. Disclaimer alert. Disclaimer alert. Not a doctor, not a diagnosis, not a prescription, not a prognosis. I am simply the messenger, but it gives your nervous system time to adjust to a different environment. Because no matter how many times we keep circling around that same old loop, what's the other one? Racing around the same old drag. That's part of a song I wrote. Racing around the same old drag. You already know certain things are going to be reoccurring. So instead of trying to change the environment, we can change our experience with that environment by what I call getting ahead of the curve. When you're early, set your clocks 15 minutes ahead even. And you don't have to feel so rushed and distracted, and then that opens that Pandora's box of dangers. And part of the reason areas of the world are the most targeted is because those are the parts of the world where some how do I word this differently than what I would normally word this? They went too far down the rabbit hole and it got dark and dangerous. They took other people's karma into their own hands. And the negative experiences occurring are a organic, natural, and yes, don't be mad. Don't be big mad for me saying this, but divinely ordained. It's divinely ordained. It's natural, universal law. It's cause and effect. Simple, cause and effect. We learn about cause and effect in elementary school. Here we are, adults, acting like we're still in elementary school. You know what I'm saying? It's all cause and effect. So just don't do that. Don't be like Simon Says, or how's that go? Do as I say, not as I do. No, we don't like that one either. That's the narcissistic parent trap. We don't like that. No, 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 no. We discern that. What was I trying to say? Basically, just don't replicate that behavior, and instead serve up the nectar. Serve up the nectar. And I also believe that there are more willful participants going to the dark side at this time. And that's why the world is out of whack. They're either compliant with that Stockholm syndrome that I mentioned earlier, or they've just always been, or complacent, rather. They're complacent, playing that Stockholm syndrome role, or they're just compliant because they agree with that type of behavior, and therefore it's becoming more of a commonplace, and it's disgusting. It's becoming more commonplace, but, or at least it was becoming more commonplace to engage in the darker behaviors. And give me just a second. I'm looking for another deck to reach for, so we can get out of that energy anytime now. But it's really not even about good or bad or who's to blame. It's more about what can we do now? The past is gone. The future is not promised. What can we do now to shift things back into balance? We have the hunter and the journey. I just felt led to do a split with the mystical shaman. So perhaps the energies in the next 7 days are not going to change the world, obviously. Chief, hello, Bro Star. Thank you so very much for popping in. Always lovely to see you and the wifey. Oh, thank you. We're taking a look at the hunter and the journey in terms of incoming energy by way of invitations. So in the next 7 days, the hunter energy is coming in. Relying on our own skills to traverse the thick forest we are in to reach our destination. That almost sounds a bit contradictory to what I was saying earlier about when we feel like we've exhausted all of our own options and ideas, we need to swallow our pride and step outside of that comfort zone and reach out to others who may be more well versed in dealing with that type of situation, people, places, things in specific, you know. So okay, with the hunter throughout the next 7 days, it's really more about a common sense approach. It's really more about applying more practical approaches to the spiritual and more spiritual approaches to the practical, because somehow there's been a little bit of a mix-up, so to speak. And then with the journey card, number 29, see, we went from dialing back with the Roman numerals to now the numbers are moving ahead from 27 to 29. There's more of that indication of the onward and upward momentum. So we took a couple of steps back, but I said sometime this week we will be called to take a couple of steps back when it comes to a situation to reevaluate it. But otherwise, it's onward and upward, baby. It's onward and upward. The journey. And this is answering the call. And if we do not answer the call, whatever it is going to be different for everybody. There may be some similarities and shared visions, of course, but ultimately, it's going to be authentic to you, whatever that call is. And the thing is, you are going to know what that means for you when you have this encounter or this situation open up for you, okay? You're going to know what this means. And if you don't answer this call when the call is made, you're going to lose out on an opportunity, or otherwise create more roadblocks and obstacles achieving something. So it could be an opportunity that was already presented, and when we're denying that call, we create more delays for ourselves. But when we answer that call, it's like what seemed like a tower moment that had to happen, okay, is now being cleared away throughout the next 7 days. Some kind of tower moment that occurred Not necessarily devastating enough to make you go backwards, though. The smoke is clearing, I just heard. Don't poke the bear. I just heard. See the bear in the background? Don't poke the bear. Whatever it is, don't poke the bear. And this was like from 27 to 29 was a small leap. So now I'm hearing baby steps. Answer the call even if you have to take baby steps. 29, the journey. This is not a holiday. It's called to be hermit-like and go on a pilgrimage into the unknown, embracing the unknown. No maps, no marked paths or road signs. This is an entirely new experience for you sometime in the next 7 days, a brand new call. So this wouldn't be, even if you feel as though you've already been called in another way, something brand spanking new is coming in sometime in the next 7 days. Some kind of call, a spiritual call, specific to and for you. And even though it may seem like there's debris in the way or the bush is in the way, because you're blazing this trail. It's your turn to blaze this trail, which means you get to clear the debris. You get to clear the bush. Okay. Answer the call. And now I'm hearing, don't allow the challenge to chase you away. Because it's those challenges that are leading to the necessary changes, which is what the tower represents, is unexpected, sometimes unexpected, but definitely necessary changes. Carving your own path. But still tapping into that spiritual social event construct. You can still be you, do you, and as the peacocks say, you can still be you, do you, be you, and be great, and be authentic, and still be loved. Yeah, I was reminded of that recently by them with the be you and be great. Better get the wax out. You mean that like somebody's hard of hearing, Audra? I don't know why when I read wax, my mind instantly went to a surfboard. I'm not even kidding. When I read that, I was like, I could actually like visualize somebody waxing their surfboard. That is so wild. Somebody's going surfing this week for the first time. Bodyboarding, wakeboarding, or otherwise. Yes. Get the wax out of your ears so you can hear the call and answer it. Got you. But I just had I legit just was like somebody was on the beach next to the lifeguard station waxing their board. Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Discipline. That message of self-discipline just came full spectrum, full circle just now. Yes. We are in charge of ourselves. We are in charge. Ultimately, we are in charge of this. But sometimes we do have to reach out. Other times we don't. The important thing is don't exhaust yourself to the point of a stalemate before swallowing your pride and reaching out. If you come across, even if it's like something that you're trying new for the first time ever, if you find yourself stuck and you've given it your all, like you've navigated every other possible avenue of resolve, and you are still stuck, ask for guidance from somebody who's more well versed. If you're learning how to surf and you don't even know how to wax your board, we got to start with the basics, right? We got to, you're not only training to stand and remain on that board and take the whipping of the waves, and also be fully conscious and aware of your surroundings, looking out for other creature teachers all up in that water. There's so much more to learning how to surf other than getting out in the water and getting on the board and hey, here we are on the board. You know what I mean? So, but take out the surfing part and insert whatever it is that you're learning for the first time ever. And then realize that there's more to it than the surface level. The underground, that's the combination of the underground and the nectar and the box that came out for us. It's definitely being called to our door because that's the second time it hit the floor. With the underworld, okay, this is being called to go beyond the surface. Think outside the box. Searching, not even really searching, but bringing to the surface that golden nectar is going to be obvious. Once you see like that particular pattern or routine play out in the form of an instruction, sometimes you learn better hearing it from others rather than just reading it from like a list of guidelines or something. You may actually be more of an auditory learner. You may be more of an auditory learner where you actually have to hear the instruction for it to stick, for you to be able to retain it. Whatever it is. We're not only talking about surfing here. That was just an example. Oh, you just canceled your kayaking plans for the 30th before you came on the live. Ooh. That's right. Chief. Yes, when you're detailing cars and other vehicles, yeah, there is waxing involved. Some of you may be called to start your own detailing business. Yeah. Oh. That one? Oh gosh, yeah. I should be wrapping this up, you guys. So the primary energy is for those next 7 days, there's a lot more going on in these messages. That's what already been said, but no going backwards. No revisiting the past. Unless it's to share your triumph and your testimony instead of the trauma. And Chief, while you're here, big up yourself, Bro Star, because you are my accountability partner. You and your wifey. Remember the pact that we made? Watch me, Sir Peacock. Watch me, Sir Peacock. Watch me be a woman of my word and stick to it. You guys will not hear about that story again unless you go watch the video, because I'm not repeating it. It is what it is. Enjoy your shower, Buddha. I'll be on the lookout for you later. I check in on the guys, but I don't stick around. It's just awkward. No offense to the guys. It's just awkward for me. Let's revisit the box for a moment here. Perhaps there was more that needed to be heard. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious levels. It is built of layer upon layer of social constructs and pressures. Breaking through its confines requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. It takes bravery to overcome the past traumas too, guys, or what was perceived to be. The box may appear as expectations from parents, a well-paying but heartless job, the pressure to look up or behave like others, or simply stay small. There's a box around you now made of some type of confining thought. What is it? The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another will present itself to you. Keep going. Break through. An exquisite life requires it. There's going to be more breakthroughs this week, especially for those of you who are trying something brand new for the very first time, realizing that you can't just get on the surfboard and go. You have to learn and practice specific guidelines. Like, you can't just apply any old technique to surfing, you know what I mean? But ride that wave that you're riding on. Embrace that wave. That's what I'm hearing. Yes. Something that was holding us back from our greatest visions. Ignoring the call. Ignoring the call. There's something that the collective is going to pick up sometime in the next 7 days that is going to have a lasting positive effect. All you have to do is either stop ignoring, or when the opportunity presents itself, answer that call to try something new for the very first time. In my case, it might just be working through a trauma without revisiting the past any longer, or discerning without overdoing it. The right place, right time, right people for that season and that situation. You're going to know what it means to you, whatever that call is. Let's do a split. We have the Earth Keeper. Oh my gosh. This could be any call. This could be any kind of call. A call to be a caretaker of nature, a call to be a caretaker and steward of another human. This is the stewardship card, the Earth Keeper card for all of creation, all of humanity and creation. With fire behind it and the circle. So to me, we have assistance and support from every possible realm and dimension with this card right here. Applying more passion. Or otherwise answering the call to be stewards and advocates of humanity, nature, the earth, and all of creation. There's a lot to choose from. So all I can say with that is pick your passion, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. The Earth Keeper. Number 18. You have outgrown your small dream of success and achievement and are ready to dream big. With possibilities beyond your wildest expectations, take on the mantle of the Earth Keeper and reach out to a friend in need whom you may not have been in touch with for some time. Take care of your pets, feed the strays, clean up your yard. This is all a reflection of your relationship to the earth. Grow the sacred dream and your personal life will flourish. Remember, it's not about me any longer. Just as you're creating your world, you're also responsible for its well-being. The Earth Keepers are dedicated to the stewardship of the earth and all life. They chose to hold the sacred dream of a planet where all beings live in peace and where rivers and the air are clean. Remember that everything you do has an impact for 7 generations. Beloveds, we are about to clear up about 7 generations worth of energy. Not because we feel like we're supreme and we can just take it upon our own free will without consent. In this instance, this is all the consent we need. All the different ways that we can contribute to humanity and all of creation. Applying more passion and emotion to those experiences. Following our guides and intuitions, but also being open to the guidance and instruction of another. And if you learn better in a specific way, if you learn better by reading something, like reading an instruction or guideline or lesson of study, do it that way. If you're more of an auditory learner, say something. It's important. There's something about like the best ways, the best modalities of learning for you, and they're all going to be different for everyone. Yes, forgiveness takes a lot of courage. It truly does. And like I said in the beginning of this video, that's another one of those things that sometimes we circle around until finally our higher self says, hey, dummy, get off the carousel. Thank you, YouTube, for letting me know we're live. I'm going to say that again. We're going to keep circling around, circling around, circling around, circling around until one day the higher self says, hey, dummy, get off the carousel of insanity. Like, get off of it. Get off of it. Turning over a whole new leaf. You're upgrading from the horse on the carousel to the unicorn. Okay. But also remember that the lion, which is conscious action, is just as equally imperative as the imagination and intuition of the unicorn. And when they run together and they stick together, we create harmony and alignment, full spectrum. Ancestors, allies, ascended masters, all in collaboration with us. 7 years, 7 generations worth of work. That's a lot of work. But with that fire, it's about to be effortless, just about as effortless as just like 10, 20 minutes ago I said, don't waste your money on the lumber and the locks, just burn it down. That is the message. I want to thank you so very much, Multiversal Soul Amelia, for tuning in with much gratitude and appreciation from my heart chakra to yours, brightest of blessings and agape omni love to all. One more thing. I love you.